Those of us who have siblings know that we aren't all fortunate enough to be really close to them, especially when they're the opposite gender and 4 years apart from us in age. As I think we've already heard today, whatever. Shauna and her brother Brandon, however, were very, very close, even as children, and remain so as adults. Brandon will offer some words from himself and the whole family.
Don't go anywhere with that current door. That's advice. So I guess it's my honor, maybe it's a burden to have to follow up after all of these very smart, very strong, very courageous, beautiful, intelligent women. But I was Shauna's little brother, so it's kind of a role that I'm uniquely qualified for. And I just asked for a couple of minutes, not really to speak of Shauna, more to offer our thanks to all of you. And as I sat down to figure out how I was going to do that, I thought, best thing is I just write out a list of all the names, and then I'd read them to you, but it wouldn't be that personal touch I was looking for, so I decided to memorize them all. And just so you know, I didn't do it in any order of importance or by relationship. I did it alphabetically. So Abigail, could you stand up? Oh, okay, well, maybe not everybody is here. So for those of you who aren't here, could you please stand up and I'll just cross out the names. There's way too many people to thank for us to do this in kind of the personal manner we would like. So I'm going to use broad strokes basically to describe all of your guys' accomplishments on behalf of our family. What you did is awesome. It's truly remarkable. Overwhelming in its scale and generosity, you built an organization of volunteers all on your own. It's an army that fed my family. It's an army that transported my family. And it's an army that cared for my family. Of course, I didn't witness all of this personally. I did not witness it firsthand. Most of my knowledge of this comes from conversations with my sister, who spoke of this organization often. And it's funny, while she managed to always personalize this organization, it occurred to me as I was writing this that I could not find a way to describe it that did not make it sound like some affiliation akin to the Masons, so if this sounds like a Dan Grant tale, I apologize. You cared for the dog. You cared for the house. The bravest amongst you even housed my niece and nephew. That's remarkable. You cared. You really cared. And it was known to her, and it was felt by her, and it's known to us. I thank you. You gave. Some of you gave a shoulder to my sister. She was very grateful for those shoulders. This is Ella. Ella, can you say hi to everybody? When she spoke of those shoulders, it was easy for me to imagine from her words fabrics like felt, silk, jersey cotton, and fleece. But in retrospect, I know them to be gold. They were so valued and so treasured. Yes, you deserve a more personal thanks than this format allows me to provide. Some of you provided her with a voice, or an ear, or a hand. These would not have been more valuable if they were adorned by De Beers. Thank you. Most significantly, you gave your time, the most damnable resource, the most valuable resource. Each of you managed to alter your schedule, to invent time to provide a meal, to transport the kids, to entertain the kids, to take the dog for a walk, or to sit with her. I believe my sister appreciated this the most, not simply because giving of your time impacts your entire family. Giving of your time is a shared sacrifice, but I believe because she understood the value of time. She never had enough time before she was sick, and of course, being sick stole so much of the time she had left. Thank you for giving your time. Unfortunately, my personal grasp of the English language is not adequate enough to thank all of you. Given more time, I might have asked the nice people here at this school to improve my language skills, though I suspect that I'm not qualified for admission. Perhaps I should have asked them to write this speech. Perhaps then I could have given you all the thank you deserve. No doubt my sister would have appreciated that. And finally, I owe you all an apology. I'm sorry. I said at the beginning, I asked for this time not to speak of my sister, but to thank all of you. And perhaps not surprisingly, it turns out that this thank you note is all about her. It turns out the generosity of all of you is no doubt a reflection of her. Your efforts best describe Shauna's grace. We thank you.
You know, Brandon, Catlin Gable does pride itself on its writing program, but honestly, none of our graduates could have written that as well as he did.